Good afternoon, teachers and students. My group and I will be presenting on our proposal for our experiment focused on fostering non cognitive factors. My group members are Ms. Tanika Domingo, Ishel Weller, and myself, Deidre Bennett. Non cognitive factors are known as soft skills and are referred to as attributes and qualities that are important for the success in life. These include things like self control, motivation, resilience, social skills, and emotional intelligence. Research has shown that these factors are just as important, or maybe even more important, than the cognitive factors. For the purpose of this experiment, we chose to focus on academic success as a non cognitive factor. This includes components such as motivation, self discipline, and self efficacy. Students who possess these qualities are more likely to set goals, work hard, persist in the face of challenges, and ultimately achieve academic success. For our experiment, we focused on a student in Belize City. His name is Justin Flowers, and he's in infant 2. He's a male student, 8 years old, and of Creole descent. His family dynamics consist of him, his mothers, and his 5 siblings, plus 2 step siblings. The family is categorized to be at poverty level and they are residing in a shared extended family yard. His mother is a domestic cleaner for the government of Belize, and his stepfather is a stay at home dad, a day laborer. His father provides for him the best he can, which includes him paying $200 a month in child support. His family has a history of low academic performance, given that only a few members have graduated from high school. Justin has repeated both Infant 1 and Infant 2. He says that he does not like math because it's too difficult to understand and solve. On the other hand, he's very friendly but gets distracted easily.
The student behavior that we observe. Justin is in good health and full of energy. He is an active child who is always vocal in expressing his thoughts. Although he does not perform well in language arts, Justin says he enjoyed this subject because this subject gave him the opportunity to speak and role play. Mathematics is considered a major subject area. Therefore, that is the major reason why Justin has had to repeat both Infant 1 and Infant 2. He displays a negative attitude towards mathematics. He does not complete assigned mathematics tasks in class nor for homework. His major challenge is that he cannot recognize the numbers, and this has been a hurdle for him to do mathematics. The behavior change attempt. By the end of the observation experiment, we hope to accomplish the following. Condition Justin to the Pavel, Pavlovian bell so that he knows that it is time to do mathematics and mentally prepare himself to do so. Learn and recognize numbers up to 100 place value and add correctly. Know the importance of working within a time frame. Enjoy doing maths, building Justin self-esteem and self-motivated that he can do maths.
The research applied are Albert Bandura social learning theory, which suggests that observation and modeling plays a primary role in how and why students learn. Bandura's theory goes beyond the perception of learning being the result of direct experience with the environment. It includes self-regulation processes, self-efficacy, understanding children's social development, cognitive development, observational learning, and self regulation that contributes to reinforcement or motivation in educational psychology. Boris Frederick Skinner, his theory of learning says that a person is first exposed to a stimulus which elicits a response, and the response is then reinforced. This ultimately is what conditions our behaviors. So we use the operant conditioning theory. Ivan Pavlov, classical conditioning theory, where behaviors are learned by connecting a neutral stimulus with positive ones, such as Pavlov's dog hearing a bell and expecting food. Principles applied are Ivan Pavlov. In this experiment, the bell was used to get Justin's attention that it was time for mathematics to start. With Skinner, behavior ultimately responds to positive and negative consequences. In this experiment, Justin was rewarded both extrinsically and intrinsically, which contributed him to doing better in mathematics. With Bandura and in social learning theory, people can learn by observing others' behaviors and consequences that results from those behaviors. Therefore, the observer just don't develop the same attitude and passion that models that the model, which is the teacher, demonstrated when teaching mathematics.
Now we're going to look at the methods used during this research. So, methods in any research refers to the systematic techniques, procedures, and tools used to collect and analyze data in a study. So, some common research methods include case studies, like what we did, or experiments, and observational studies. These are all components of what we did. These methods can be qualitative, quantitative, or mixed methods in nature, depending on the type of data being collected and the research questions being addressed. So, to start off, we met as a group to discuss our targets. We then identified our student profile, including school age, behavioral issues, and then assigned the task amongst ourselves. Each group member was responsible to identify one prospective candidate for us to present to each other and select the best possible candidate for us to do our research. Selections were made, and the group members identified Justin Flowers as our primary candidate. We then met with Justin's parent to explain the experiment and get consent so that the observation can be carried out. We also got approval from the school principal to conduct this experiment and then conduct one on one interviews with Justin to build rapport and connect with him. We then utilized the probing technique to find out why he doesn't like mathematics. We didn't take it for granted to say, oh, he just doesn't like it, because we got to learn from him firsthand to see his views. The mother was present for the first one just so that she can be aware and see what exactly we will be doing with him. We then worked on developing a mathematics timetable with the concepts that we will be targeting. We shared the timetable with the parents and the child and then explained it to them. We did the implementation of the schedule, and when it was appropriate during our research, we used the child's first language, which is Creole, to reinforce the concepts that we wanted him to build. We utilized journal entries to record the child's progress, and we did so digitally, and we use a combination of digital techniques and paper based. When teaching mathematics, we try to demonstrate a passion for doing so that Justin changed his behavior and his negative attitude so that he could develop a passion for it, which is a part of Bandura's story. Then we use the bell to get Justin's attention, and probe him so that he knows that the session will begin. That's a part of the Pavlovian technique. And then extrinsic rewards, such as popcorn day, the star system, watching a movie, and then the intrinsic rewards includes things such as making noticeable progress, him feeling achieved, and mastering the mathematics concept, which is a part of Skinner's. The timetable for the concept that we will be reviewing in mathematics, the journal observation, use of positive rewards, both intrinsic and extrinsic, involving the parent, and using the child first language are the five primary methods that we identified through our research. We did a consent letter, and this is an example or the sample consent letter that we gave to the mother. It just introduced us as psychology of learning students at the University of Belize and stated our content objective, which was to complete this research. Additionally, you'll see some key informations that we included in our consent letter, which stated that the research will be done 1 hour a day after school from 4 to 5 p.m. for a total of 10 consecutive days. The participation was voluntary, of course, and the purpose was to modify the behaviors that the child is displaying to increase his functioning at school. This research was communicated to them that this would be presented for school purposes at the university level only. And in addition to that, if there are any additional follow ups needed, then we will include the mother and let her know. This was primarily an observational strategy that we utilized, and there was no financial compensation given to the family. At the end, you'll see that if the mother has any questions, she can contact either of the group members or our course lecturer. We then have Miss Martinez's signature and my signature for the consent letter. This is a sample of Justin's participation cards. As you can see, a green smiley face is equivalent to him doing an excellent job for that day and encouraged to keep up the great work. The teal color means good job, and there are some areas of improvement, but he's nonetheless doing an admirable job and we're seeing improvement. Yellow indicates that he needs improvement, and the red is he needs additional time to improve, which would require him half an hour extra staying behind. After three green or teal faces, Justin receives a treat, which is his popcorn or a movie day. So for week one, you'll see his ratings done by us. And for the first day, he was a little bit excited, but as you can tell, he was distracted and he seemed tired from school. This was something new to him, so we kind of expected that for him to not be so open and welcome to the idea and just learning about it. For day two, he did not cooperate with us well and he didn't want to participate in majority of the activities that we did. So it was communicated to him that he would have to stay back an extra half an hour, and then we introduced the bell technique to him for that day. For day three, there was some improvement in his behavior, and we used a lot of positive reinforcement. By doing so, we noted that he was more engaged and actively doing his tasks. For day 4, he made some mistake, but we can tell that he was very confident and the learning was conducive. Day 5, he was tired. I guess it's a thing on Friday. Students seem to just want to be at home, so he got a smiley face. For the upcoming week, we then noticed that his behavior improved drastically, and we could see that he understood the concepts better and was able to ask a lot of questions. He also did independent practice work and was excited to show us his work that he finished. He even went home to show his mother his work as well, and we gave him some stickers for his passing grades. We did notice that on the last day, and it was a Friday again, he was fatigued, and we could see that he did not want the session to end. And that's where we kind of identified that, given the techniques that we used, it was different from his teacher, and he did not want that relationship to end. So it seemed as if though we established a codependent relationship with Justin, and he was very disappointed and sad that this was our last day with him. Tanika, your turn.
We created a math schedule timetable to observe the student. The schedule is 10 days, 5 days each week for an hour. And at the end of each week, the student was given a reward whereby at the end of week 1, which was from Monday to Friday, he was able to watch a movie. And when we go to week 2, from Monday to Friday, after we have done the math concept and we taught him the math concept that we had for the topic, he was able to have a movie day and use shopping with his box that he earned during the intervention or the um observation. Next slide. Okay, we had journal entries for each day that the student was observed. We have week 1 entry whereby a math concept was taught each day except for Friday, where a reward was given. The different math concept was taught, and we had at day 1 we introduced the ringing of the bell, which signals the math session will begin. We use verbal phrases such as lift up the roof and face bump. Explosion was carried out as the action out to praise and motivate the student just done. Day 2, we did our math concept as usual, and we encourage him and give him opportunity to get the work correct. And at the end of the lesson, the student was given box as a form of incentive for to get him motivated. On day 3, we did the same. The concept was taught, and we did verbal praises and so on. Day 4, for that week, we did the same, and we encourage him and we give him box after to encourage him. And then day 5, which was the popcorn day, he was treated to popcorn and a movie, and his parent was also treated and his favorite movie was shown. Okay, the second week we did the same where the concept was taught for each day except on Friday, and the reward was given. Next slide. Okay, so these were the results after the observation for the 10 days. And from the first day of the observation, Justin was enthusiastic in wanting to learn mathematics, and with the use of the different student-centered activity, Justin developed a motivation in doing math. Although being very energetic and vocal in expressing his emotion, Justin improved in not just speaking without being given permission, but also speak with permission to do so. He was aware that if he followed the rules, he would be rewarded for them. So there would have been a reward for him. And Justin learned the daily concept being taught. He learned that when the bell rang, it was time to begin the math lesson. And Justin has developed a passion for mathematics that was demonstrated by the teachers, was adopted by Justin. So he adopted this passion for mathematics because of his teacher. And the reward was a determined factor in changing that Justin's attitude towards mathematics. Justin did well in the final worksheet where all the concept taught were included, and the movie, the popcorn, and the shopping were all well received and acknowledged by Justin. Justin parents were grateful for the results of the intervention or the observation that we had conducted of him. I think it really helped Justin develop a positive attitude towards math now. These were just some of the images of the math topics. Like we have the number chart 1 to 100, because before this intervention observation, we noticed that Justin had problem recognizing numbers. So we did a series of math concept, including numbers. We had the numbers where he had to match one-to-one correspondent, where he matched the number with the amount showing.
In summary, fostering non-cognitive factors in children and adolescents is important for their academic success, social and emotional well-being, career success, and overall health and well-being. Parents, teachers, and caregivers can help nurture these qualities by providing positive role models, setting high expectations, promoting self reflection and self awareness, and providing opportunities for practice and feedback. Based on the results of the research conducted with Just Sunflowers and the content acquired in this Psychology of Learning course, there is a notable influence on the learning outcomes of the Infant 2 student when using Pavlov's theory of classical conditioning in teaching and learning. The teacher used Bandura's social modeling to engage the student by demonstrating a positive attitude towards the mathematics subject. The student was able to shift his own negative attitude and mimic the teacher's openness and enthusiasm towards mathematics. In the experimental research, immediate and meaningful changes in the student's behavior was observed. Our recommendations include an effective teacher must have knowledge of students' learning styles and motivation, intrinsic versus extrinsic, apart from pedagogical knowledge. This study recommends teachers use Pavlov's classical conditioning theory to condition students in the classroom. Moreover, this study recommends all relative stakeholders explore possibilities of incorporating positive behavior modeling and positive reinforcement to further encourage students with favorable attitude towards learning subjects they have this interest in. In addition, the study recommends the Ministry of Education explore possibilities of providing teachers with workshops and professional development programs that will cater to the needs of those students who are being left behind due to disinterest in core subjects. These are our references for our research paper, and here we come to the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention, and we hope that you enjoyed our presentation.